Hey guys, thought I'd do an update on the garden situation since it's changed so much. If any of you have watched that first garden video, I'm starting this in the exact same location as that one was shot, I believe 3 weeks ago. I don't remember for sure, I'd have to double check. But here's our redneck homestead garden 3 weeks later. As you can see, it's going great guns. We've had some pretty good weather up here as of late. A lot of rain, some cooler temperatures than we're used to at this time of year. These sunflowers have just shot up. Some of these have gone from just 6 inches up to 6 feet in a matter of, like I said, about 3 weeks. We're starting to see some heads on them already. I've been really pleased with how well these have done. This isn't the first year we've planted them, but it's the first year we've planted this many, and the first year we've done them up here in the big garden. In the past we've done them down by the little garden. Like I said before, we're gonna see about using these to make some chicken feed. Right now we buy feed from a local feed store, and nothing wrong with that. We'll probably keep it up, but we would love to be able to get self-sufficient with our chicken feed. The greens are pretty much played out. Not quite yet. We've harvested most of the broccoli. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we've harvested all of the broccoli. Yeah. I've never heard anyone talk about this. Maybe they do. Broccoli leaves are fantastic. They taste just like broccoli. Some of the best greens. There's lettuce bolting. I'm going to get some seeds out of that. Excuse me, I'm eating my broccoli leaf. I think these are collards, but I don't remember. I'd have to ask the wife. And the kale, we've been pretty pleased with the kale. This is the first year we've done it. Doesn't taste quite as good as the broccoli leaves, but it's a very useful plant. I think it's going to end up being some animal feed too, and it preserves. It looks like it dries. My wife made some kale chips the other day that were surprisingly good. The potatoes are doing better this year. I know I've said in the past that we've never had any luck with potatoes, but it looks like they might make it. I don't know. We'll find out. And then of course, there's the corn. Again, I still don't have much faith in corn. There's some bare spots out there in some places where it didn't come up, and the seed quality degrades. But it's a great high-calorie food with a lot of uses that stores well if you can make it work. I would prefer to thin these out, I think, but that's my father-in-law's patch right there, and he's smarter than I am, and he works harder than I do, so he gets to choose how he wants to do it. We've got some corn over here for us. There's some more of the wife's weird vegetables. I want to say kohlrabi, maybe. And we got I don't know. She planted most of this. I think they're watermelons. Here's the squash. These could be cucumbers too. Over here we got some tomatoes that are doing great. And my peanuts, I was getting worried about my peanuts for a while, but they're perking up. We need to do a little bit more weeding in there in the upper rows, but really excited about the peanuts. I've never heard anyone talk about this before, but if you pick the peanuts when they're, pull them, they're underground. Pull them, but when they're still, when they're not fully developed, they're like peanut shaped, but they're white and juicy and sweet, and they don't have a shell yet. It's all just like, it looks like a peanut with the veins and everything, but it's all just this real moist, sweet white flesh that's superb. I think that's another volunteer potato. We're going to try to let these volunteer potatoes go this year. I'm going to see what we can do about saving the seeds. Normally you don't plant potatoes from seeds. I'm not sure if it's something you can even do. I know you can with sweet potatoes. But these volunteers that seem to have survived, I really want to try to keep those going, because I've had such bad luck with potatoes. It's just rare that they're going to work. And then here's my babies, my sweet potatoes. They're going great guns. Maybe not quite as well as the sunflowers, but they're going to produce more calories than the sunflowers, in theory. Once we convert those sunflowers into eggs and chicken meat, who knows? These have all been planted at various times. Some of them were actually store-bought. Most of them were slips we started in ourselves. There's another volunteer potato. So that's it. We've already actually started harvesting the greens. The peas are doing extremely well. If you've never grown your own peas and eaten peas straight off the vine, it's a completely different. It's not even a vegetable. It's a fruit. It is a sweet fruit. Kids think they're eating candy when they pick peas off the vine and eat them. In fact, the kids really like picking stuff out of the garden and eating it fresh anyway. It blows my mind what these kids will eat. And these are 2- and 3-year-olds and even up. They love to run out and pick asparagus and eat fresh asparagus right out of the ground. Anywho, so this is our redneck homestead. A lot of these seeds were saved from last year, not all of them, but quite a few of them, especially the beans and some of the corn. The sweet potatoes were all, not all, but most of the sweet potatoes were started here on the place from crops from last year. And we're about to pull a second harvest out of all this stuff. And again, we don't have a lot of equipment. We got a little old tractor over there. Tractor came with a plow and a disc, and then my father-in-law welded up I don't even know, it digs furrows, and so then you don't have to dig your furrows. You can come back and just plant and cover them back up by hand, which isn't as much work as it sounds like. So there it is, coming along good. We have no idea how many calories this represents for the year. It's certainly not enough to feed our entire family for a year. I mean, we've got a huge family. My wife and I account for 12 children. And then my father-in-law and his wife and whatnot. And then brothers and sisters and nieces and, well, we don't have any nieces, but nephews. It's a huge crowd, so this certainly isn't anywhere enough for that. But boy, it's a step in the right direction. We'll get a lot of our seed for next year. And that's really the goal right now, is next year we really want to be able to produce a lot of our own food and take that big step of limiting our diets to the point where we only eat what we grow, to largely, not completely, but largely. All right, thanks guys.